I Have a Dream, Martin Luther King Jr., Characters, Speaker, Essayist, Place, Lincoln Memorial, America. People, Black people and white people. Theme: whatever rights and justices are promised, they are only in documents, but they have not applied them in practice. Summary: the essay, I Have a Dream, is a speech given by an American black leader, Martin Luther King, in 1963. This speech contains the hopes and dreams of American blacks. It says that even after the Declaration of Independence, the blacks are denied from freedom and justice. There is still tyranny over the blacks. They are deprived from equal rights. They are neglected and banished in their own country. They are suffering from racial discrimination. King says that this should be immediately changed. He argues that America will be weakened by such inequalities. He says that the blacks should conduct their struggle with super discipline. They should not be violent. He says that all should go hand in hand together. They should continue their struggle until they get justice and equality. King wants to bring freedom not only for his community but for all. He wants to hear sweet sound of freedom and justice all over America. Short question 1. What is the apparent purpose of Martin Luther King's speech, I Have a Dream? The apparent purpose of Martin Luther King's speech is to avoid and to eliminate racial injustice and discrimination, exploitation and inequality of black people in America. This essay's purpose is to provide freedom and equality, establishes justice and brotherhood to the black people as promised in the American Constitution. The speech was heard by black people mostly. Martin Luther King made this speech in front of a big mass of people in Washington, D.C. 2. What suggestions does Martin Luther King give to the black people from his speech? King is a civil rights campaigner, black and in favor of the black people. Before 1961, all of the black were treated as slaves. He encourages the black people to struggle against the racial injustice. He suggests that they should continue their struggle in a disciplined and non-violent way and they get their rights, equality and liberty. Their struggle should not cause any distrust among the white. The black people's fate is tied up with the fate of the whites. His suggestion is that they should not lose their hopes until they get justice and equal rights in America. Long questions 1. What is the historical significance of Martin Luther King's speech? King's speech has a great historical importance. 100 years ago, the American President Abraham Lincoln had freed Negro slaves from slavery system. It was a joyful day to end the injustice to the blacks. But 100 years later, the black people still cannot get freedom. They cannot get even fundamental right. They are neglected in their own country. Their children cannot enter the school where white children study. They are judged by their skin color, not for their talent. The white behave them as a dog, an animal. They are suffering from racial discrimination. There is still tyranny over the blacks. The white people always dominate them. He argues that America will be weakened by such injustices. They should struggle with super discipline and they should not be violent. He says that all should go hand in hand together. So, that King's speech to make the black people free has a great importance. 2. What is the dream Martin Luther King Jr. has? How is he going to achieve it? Or, describe the dream which Martin Luther King had in his speech, I Have a Dream. Martin Luther King is an American black leader. He gives a speech, I Have a Dream, which has the hopes and dreams of American blacks. King has a dream to implement the Declaration of Independence and the American Constitution. He has a dream to avoid tyranny of the whites over blacks. They are deprived of equal rights. They are neglected and exiled in their own country. The black are suffering from racial discrimination. King has a dream to avoid racial discrimination and inequalities in America. He has a dream to provide the fundamental rights to the blacks. He has a dream to implement the American Constitution. King is going to achieve his dream struggling with supper discipline and non-violence movement. King says that they need the support of white. They should go hand in hand together. They should continue their struggle until they get justice and equality. He wants to hear sweet sound of freedom and security. 3. Argue in favor of some course of action in a situation that you consider an injustice. Racial injustice is one possible area, or unfairness to any minority, to women, children, the old, ex-convicts, the handicapped, the poor. If possible, narrow subject to a particular incident or a local situation on which you can write knowledgeably. Gender discrimination. My country's name is Nepal. It has got different types of societies. Some societies are traditional and some are modern. In our societies there is gender discrimination and injustice. Our society is male-dominated society. Women have not got equal rights here. They have not got equal political, social, economic and educational rights. Sons are sent to a good school but the daughters read in general school. When they go to their husband's house after marriage, they are deprived from father's property. They have to work hard in the house. Women do the household work. Men are free from such type of work. It is said that household works are the works of women in a family. The men read and write, go to office. He is involved in social work and guides the family. He is regarded as the head of the family. He controls finance. There is injustice to the women. In our traditional society, there is no identity of a woman. She has no name. When she is in her father's house, she is called by the name of father. When she is married, she is called by her husband's name. When she gives birth to a child, she is called by the child's name.